In 2024, recent American beer tests have uncovered something deeply unsettling. One of the nation's most popular lagers received such a poor rating that reviewers bluntly called it alcoholic water. Another brand, consumed by millions of people every week, was found to contain glucose syrup, corn extract, and hop substitutes instead of genuine ingredients. The U.S. beer market is an industry worth over $5.5 billion. Yet 3 foreign corporations now control an astounding 80% of it. Heineken from the Netherlands, Asahi from Japan, and Carlsberg from Denmark have taken over breweries that were built by generations of American families. Today, we're going to expose 7 beer brands you should absolutely avoid and 2 that genuinely deserve your trust and your money. Coming in at number 7 on our list is Fireside Winter Ale from the Heineken Brewing Group. This seasonal mulled beer appears in American stores every winter, marketed as a traditional heartwarming drink for cold nights. However, a closer look at the label reveals a completely different and less appealing story. Fireside Winter Ale lists high fructose corn syrup as one of its main ingredients. This industrial sweetener gives the beer an artificial, candy-like flavor that completely overpowers any real beer character. Expert reviewers on the popular forum, Beer Advocate, gave this product a dismal 2.5 out of 5, with one tester writing that it tasted like cola mixed with honey and toffee, with 0 actual beer flavor. The high fructose corn syrup simply dominates everything else in the glass. The Heineken Group produces this beverage at its facilities in both New York and California, both of which have been controlled by the Dutch company since it acquired a majority stake back in 1999. The price is about $1.50 a bottle, which sounds cheap until you realize you're paying for flavored sugar water, not real beer. Traditional American recipes for a winter warmer or mulled beer call for a quality ale gently heated with natural spices like cloves, cinnamon, and real honey. Fireside Winter Ale completely skips the quality ale part and instead relies on industrial sweeteners to create a product that has more in common with an energy drink than a true winter beer. You'd be far better off buying a decent lager and warming it up yourself with some real spices. Next at number 6, we have Bison Brew from a subsidiary of Asahi. This is one of the top-selling beers in the United States, backed by massive advertising campaigns featuring the iconic American bison. Bison Brew dominates the budget lager segment, and you'll find it in every major retail chain from Walmart to Kroger. But the ingredients list reveals exactly why this beer causes problems for so many drinkers. Bison Brew contains water, barley malt, glucose syrup, barley, hops, and hop extract. The glucose syrup is used to replace more expensive malt sugars, which cuts production costs, but drastically alters the flavor profile for the worse. Furthermore, the use of hop extract instead of natural hop cones provides bitterness without delivering the full, complex aromatic qualities of real hops. Consumer reviews on American forums paint a disturbing picture of the results. Many users on beer forums describe Stallion Lager as a hangover in a can. One commenter on a popular review site noted that just 3 Stallion Lagers gave him a headache comparable to drinking large quantities of cheap vodka. A review aggregator collected dozens of similar opinions, stating that while the beer tastes okay at first, drinking more than a couple guarantees a nasty hangover, complete with splitting headaches and stomach pain. The brewing conglomerate, controlled by the Japanese giant Asahi, holds between 40 and 45% of the American beer market. They produce Stallion Lager at 3 massive breweries in St. Louis, Milwaukee, and Golden, Colorado. This enormous scale demands standardization, which often means replacing natural ingredients with industrial substitutes. Several consumers have even noticed that Stallion Lager bought in different states tastes slightly different, suggesting quality control issues when dealing with such massive production volumes. The price typically hovers around $1 to $1.50 for a 16-ounce can. We're halfway through our countdown, and you can already see the pattern emerging. Foreign corporations buy up historic American breweries, glucose syrup replaces real malt, hop extracts stand in for natural hops, and recipes are optimized for profit, not flavor. The next 3 brands on our list take these problems even further. Number 5 is Mountain Peak Light Lager from the High Ridge Brewing Group. This beer positions itself as a crisp mountain lager, featuring an image of the Rocky Mountains on every can. The marketing promises a refreshing, high-altitude quality. The ingredients label, however, reveals the truth hiding beneath the scenic mountain landscape. Mountain Peak contains water, barley malt, corn, glucose syrup, and hop extract. The presence of corn as an unmalted grain adjunct is a classic cost-cutting measure. Corn provides fermentable sugars more cheaply than barley malt, but it adds an unwanted sweetness and reduces the complexity of the final beer. Glucose syrup compounds this problem, further diluting the malt character. The use of hop extract means that no natural whole-cone hops ever touch this beer during the brewing process. The Open Food Facts database classifies Mountain Peak Light Lager as an ultra-processed food, placing it in Category 4, the lowest quality classification in the Nova food processing system. Reviews on beer forums are brutal. Users claim this beer is even worse than other budget options like Coors Light or Busch Light. Other comments compare it unfavorably to generic store-brand beers, noting that the only difference is the added corny aftertaste. Consumer complaints about headaches after drinking Mountain Peak appear repeatedly on American beer forums. The international conglomerate Heineken took over the High Ridge Brewing Group through a series of acquisitions between 1994 and 1999, gaining control over one of America's oldest brewing traditions. The brewery in Golden, Colorado, where Mountain Peak is produced, has a centuries-old history, but the current recipe has little in common with traditional American lager brewing. A 16-ounce can costs just over $1 in most American supermarkets. Number 4 is Warlord Strong from the American Brewing Company. This strong lager clocks in at a whopping 9% alcohol and is aimed squarely at consumers looking for the biggest buzz for their buck. The brand changed hands when it was bought out by a major brewing conglomerate, and longtime drinkers immediately noticed the change for the worse. Reviews on popular beer rating sites describe Warlord Strong as something closer to industrial-grade spirits mixed with a cocktail of unknown chemicals. One user called it one of the absolute worst beers they had ever forced down. An online forum, BrewHub, featured a particularly damning comment where a reviewer stated that in their entire life, they'd only ever poured 2 beers down the sink, and Warlord Strong was destined to be the third. The main complaints consistently circle around a metallic, unnatural flavor and a harsh alcohol aroma that smells more like cheap grain alcohol than actual beer. High alcohol lagers can be absolutely incredible when they're brewed properly, with extended aging and a careful selection of high-quality ingredients. Belgian quads and imperial stouts, for example, regularly push past 10% alcohol while offering wonderfully complex and balanced flavor profiles. Warlord Strong, however, takes a completely different path, using production methods specifically designed to crank out the highest possible alcohol content while slashing ingredient costs to the bone. The result is a beverage that technically meets the alcohol percentage printed on the can, but fails to deliver anything even remotely resembling a quality beer experience. The American Brewing Company actually markets several brands of these high-octane lagers, all following the same basic formula. Their international parent company, Kirin, acquired the American Brewing Company through the Miller-Coors merger, continuing a pattern of beloved American brewing assets being absorbed by foreign ownership. A can of Warlord Strong typically costs around $1.50, positioning it firmly in the budget strong beer category, where price is the only thing that matters. Coming in at number 3 on our countdown is Mountaineers Brew Light Lager from Molson Coors. This lager uses mountain-themed imagery similar to Mountain Peak, plastering its cans with rugged landscapes and a tough guy branding aesthetic. Mountaineers Brew is a regular feature in the big buy one, get one deals at American supermarkets, making it one of the most frequently purchased beers for holiday weekends and cookouts. The review site Beer Advocate has collected some absolutely scathing opinions from consumers. One reviewer claimed that even just 3 cans of Mountaineers Brew are enough to trigger a massive headache, adding they wouldn't touch the stuff even if it were 25 cents a can. Another simply called it the worst beer in America, period. The list of ingredients on the official Molson Coors website shows water, barley malt, barley, sugar, and hops. Unlike some of its budget competitors, Mountaineer's Brew actually uses natural hops instead of hop extract, which in theory should lead to a higher quality product. However, the consumer complaints remain overwhelmingly negative, focusing on its harsh, boozy kick, watery taste, and an aroma often described as just plain off or spoiled. The beer blog The Hop Take mentioned drinking Mountaineer's Brew years ago, remembering it only as awful and tasting like it had gone bad. Molson Coors took control of several major American breweries during the wave of consolidation in the 1990s. The Miller Brewery in Milwaukee now produces Mountaineer's Brew alongside other major Molson Coors brands. The corporate ownership structure means that production decisions are made to optimize Carlsberg's global profit margins, not to honor American brewing traditions. A bottle of this beer costs about $1.50 to $2 at retail, placing it firmly in the budget category where heavy promotion drives sales volume, regardless of any quality concerns. The pattern should be crystal clear by now. The major American beer brands are owned by either Heineken, Asahi, or Carlsberg. Their recipes often include glucose syrup, corn, or other cheap substitutes for traditional ingredients. Consumer reviews consistently mention headaches, metallic aftertastes, and hangovers that feel completely out of proportion to the amount of alcohol consumed. The last two brands on this avoid at all costs list represent the most extreme examples of this industrial approach to brewing. Coming in at number 2 is Maximum Impact 12% from the Midwest Beverage Company. This beer pushes the alcohol content to the absolute limit, hitting 12% in a standard 16-ounce can. For context, most Belgian triples and other strong ales top out at around 9 or 10%. 12% alcohol by volume is getting into wine territory and requires either exceptional brewing skill or significant shortcuts. Maximum Impact definitely chooses the shortcut approach. The TikTok channel Craft Brew Crew, which has over 3,500 likes, rated Maximum Impact a 1 out of 10, calling it the worst beer they've ever had, a truly nightmarish experience. Reviews on a popular brewing forum describe the taste as just malt and harsh alcohol, with an alcoholic bitterness and a metallic, sickly sweet aroma. The head retention is poor, and the overall impression screams industrial production, focused solely on cranking up the alcohol content. At 12% ABV, any beer is going to have a strong ethanol presence. But thoughtfully crafted Belgian quads and imperial stouts balance this with months of aging, specialty malts, and meticulous fermentation control. Maximum Impact skips all these expensive steps, creating a product that just delivers the alcohol percentage without any of the craft that makes strong beers enjoyable. The Midwest Beverage Company specializes in economy beers, often producing private label products for discount stores. Their focus on the budget segment means every recipe decision prioritizes cutting costs above all else. A price tag of around $2 a can might seem reasonable, until you consider that spending just a little more can get you a craft-brewed strong ale with genuinely complex flavors and proper brewing techniques. Maximum Impact exists for one purpose and one purpose only: to deliver the most alcohol for the lowest price. Anyone seeking that specific goal should understand exactly what they're drinking. And the number one beer to avoid on this list is Executive Select Strong, an original brew made by a contract brewer exclusively for a major national discount supermarket chain. This 7.2% lager has earned a reputation as possibly the absolute worst beer available in the United States. A leading beer enthusiast forum ran polls asking users to name the worst beers they had ever tried. VIP Original Extra Strength swept the entire top 10, with numerous users independently naming it as their absolute worst beer experience. One popular blog, The Brew Enthusiast, wrote a whole review titled, "The Beer That Probably Killed the Dinosaurs." Their description focused on an overwhelming rubbing alcohol smell that masked all its other flaws, of which there were apparently many. One forum reviewer described the aroma as malty and metallic, and when asked to identify any other characteristic, could only add that it smelled like a dirty dish rag. Consumer complaints about VIP Original Extra Strength center on this industrial, spirit-like character, which has nothing to do with proper beer fermentation. Strong lagers are supposed to develop their alcoholic flavors during a slow, controlled fermentation process using quality yeast strains and precise temperatures. A rushed production using cheap ingredients creates harsh, solvent-like fusel alcohols that professional tasters immediately recognize as a major defect. Interestingly, American Beverage Corp, the company behind VIP, also produces some legitimately high-quality beers. Their Lakeside Light Lager won a gold medal at the National Beer Awards of 2024 in the Light Pilsner Lager category. The stark difference between products from the same company just goes to show how wide the quality gap is in the American brewing industry. VIP Original Extra Strength targets shoppers at stores like Walmart who want a strong beer at the absolute lowest price, around $1 to $1.50 per can. The consequences arrive the next morning, when the effects of the corn syrup, production shortcuts, and harsh alcohol compounds create a hangover far worse than the alcohol content alone would suggest. These are 7 American beer brands that deserve to be skipped in the store aisle. Corn syrup, hop extracts, corn additives, foreign corporate ownership, and production optimized for profit over quality define these categories. Now it's time to talk about the beers that truly deserve your respect and your money. The first outstanding recommendation is the Grand Imperial Porter from Amber Brewing Company. This Baltic porter from an independent American brewery proves that domestic producers can create world-class beer without corporate ownership or ingredient shortcuts. Amber Brewing operates out of a small town in Wisconsin and has maintained its independence since it was founded in 1995. No Dutch, Japanese, or Danish corporation controls their recipe decisions. Grand Imperial Porter contains only traditional ingredients: malted barley, hops, water, and yeast. There's no corn syrup or hop extract to be found. The brewing process follows historic Baltic porter traditions, with extended lagering and a careful selection of specialty malts. The accolades confirm what the ingredient list suggests. Grand Imperial Porter took first place at the Craft Beer Invitational in 2018. Consumer ratings on Untappd averaged 3.54 out of 5, with reviews praising its notes of chocolate, coffee, and caramel, alongside undertones of dried fruit. A popular American beer review site collects opinions, calling it a phenomenal porter in every respect and one of the best Baltic porters available. At 18.1 degrees Plato and 8% alcohol, Grand Imperial Porter delivers the kind of punch consumers are looking for in a high-gravity beer, but it achieves this through proper brewing techniques, not production shortcuts. Its thick, creamy head and complex flavor profile demonstrate what American craft brewing can achieve when quality is prioritized over cost-cutting. The price is typically between $3 and $5 for a 16-ounce bottle, only $1 or $2 more than the mass-produced alternatives. The difference in value, however, is immense. This beer frequently appears on the shelves of major grocery chains, including Safeway, Kroger, and even Trader Joe's, making it accessible to anyone willing to pay a little extra for true quality. Supporting a brewery like this means backing an independent American business that has earned over 30 medals in international competitions, all while refusing to sell out to foreign corporations. Another excellent recommendation is the Old Keystone Porter from the historic Keystone Brewery in Pennsylvania. This beer represents a fascinating paradox in American brewing, a truly exceptional brew from the same company group that produces Keystone Light and other mass-market lagers. The Old Keystone Porter has been brewed since 1881, making it one of the oldest continuously produced beers in the United States. The historic Keystone Brewery operates as a specialized facility, focusing entirely on dark beers, completely separate from the industrial-scale lager production at other Keystone Group locations. What sets Old Keystone Porter apart from its corporate siblings starts with its dedicated production process. The Pennsylvania brewery roasts its own malt on-site, a traditional practice that has all but vanished in modern brewing. This commitment to craftsmanship creates the intense, complex flavors that define the Baltic porter style. Reviews consistently describe the taste as bold and assertive, with notes of roasted malt, undertones of coffee and caramel, and a dense, creamy head. American beer experts consistently list Old Keystone Porter among the best beers bearing any corporate brand name in the country. At 21 degrees Plato and 9.5% alcohol, This porter matches or exceeds any craft alternative in both strength and complexity. The price is usually between $2 and $4 a bottle in most American grocery stores. Pairing recommendations include dark chocolate, cheesecake, and spiced desserts, or simply enjoying it as a digestif after dinner. The brewing tradition in that part of Pennsylvania dates back to the early waves of European immigration, a historical connection that has survived in the brewing methods still used for Old Keystone Porter today. While a global beverage giant technically owns the Keystone Group, they have apparently left the specialized production in Pennsylvania untouched, choosing not to optimize it for cost reduction. This makes the Old Keystone Porter an accessible gateway to quality American beer, available in virtually every supermarket across the nation. Knowing which beers to avoid and which ones to reach for is the first step, but understanding why certain beers cause problems, while others deliver on quality, empowers you for every future purchase. The label always tells the truth, even when the marketing is lying. Taking just 5 seconds to read the ingredient list reveals exactly what ended up in that bottle or can. Things like corn syrup, rice, and hop extract are red flags for cost cutting, which impacts both the flavor and how you feel the next morning. Traditionally, beer only needs 4 ingredients: water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. The classic German purity law has required this since 1516, and many American craft brewers voluntarily hold themselves to that same high standard. It's a commitment to tradition and quality over cutting corners for profit. This philosophy is at the heart of the craft beer movement that has swept the nation, putting flavor and integrity first. Foreign ownership is a huge factor because it means production decisions are often made in boardrooms in Amsterdam, Tokyo, or Copenhagen, not here in the United States. Their priority is the bottom line, not the local palate. On the other hand, independent American breweries survive and thrive based on their reputation. For them, quality isn't just a buzzword, it directly determines their future. There are now over 9,000 craft breweries operating across the USA, more than at any other time in our history. Price can give you some clues, but it isn't an absolute guarantee of quality. However, a beer that costs less than $1.50 a bottle has almost certainly involved some serious compromises in its production. Spending just $1 or $2 more often means